talk about the Brikama North constituency. I mean, this is a constituency which has 36,755 registered voters, and then among the catchment areas as far as this constituency is concerned, we have Serekundanding, Kembuje, Brikama Daruhairu, Brikama Jamisa, Brikama Misira, Brikama Kabafita, Nyambai, Brikama Welingara, Brikama Jalambang, Kubune, Bafloto, and Galoya. They are all in the Brikama North constituency. And in this year's election, parliamentary election, the candidates are Alaji Asdabo, who is the sitting National Assembly member of the constituency, who is seeking re-election under the United Democratic Party. Dabo is among one of the 17th MPs retained by his party to contest in the upcoming parliamentary election. And we have Lamin KB Bojang, who is also here in the studio. He is contesting under the Gambia Democratic Congress Party. And also Samsidin Baji, independent candidate. He will be joining us before the end of this program. And we have Lamin Bojang of the National People's Party, who has rejected our invitation to be on this program. Well, Alaji S. Dabo was elected in 2017 with 7,346 votes. And in that particular election, he was challenged by Abba Jallo of GDC, Keba Bah of NRP, Fabakari Nyonyo Bojang, independent, and Momodu Baji, independent. Gentlemen, welcome to the debate. I will start with Honorable Alaji S. Dabo. Mr. Dabo, welcome to the debate.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Bojang, welcome to the debate. Yes, like we do here, before we start the debate, we'll just share with you the rules governing the debate. Like you already know, the debate shall last for 1 hour 40 minutes. The debate shall include breaks. I mean, each of the debaters will be given 2 minutes to make an opening statement. The same applies for closing remarks. Candidates can ask each other questions and answer the moderator's follow-up questions. Debaters are to address each other by Mr., Mrs., or Miss, followed by the surname. Well, today we're going to have Mr. And then the questions are independently prepared by QTV. There will be no rebuttals of opening or closing statement, but there will be 1 minute rebuttals for the debaters. There will be a 10 minutes phone-in call for our audience, particularly those living in the Brikama North constituency. And at the end, we expect our debaters to acknowledge each other with handshake or elbow bump at the end of the debate. Once again, we remind that you're watching QTV, the Gambia's first private TV station. We're broadcasting from our studios here on Kairaba Avenue here in the Gambia, West Africa. My name is Aliou Sise. I will now start with Honorable Alaji S. Dabo of United Democratic Party. Honorable, in just 2 minutes, an opening statement, and tell us who is Alaji S. Dabo.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sise. I'm Alhaji S. Dabo, the sitting National Assembly member for Brikama North, who contested the seat for United Democratic Party in 2017. And I'm happy to be selected and nominated to contest under the United Democratic Party ticket.
Thank you very much, Alaji S. Dabo. I will now bring in Lamin KB Bojang, who is contesting under the Gambia Democratic Congress Party, that's GDC. Mr. Bojang, opening statement in 2 minutes, and tell us further who is Lamin KB Bojang.
Okay. Lamin KB Bojang was born and brought up in Brikama. Lamin KB doing my ACCA.
Thank you very much, Lamin KB Bojang of the Gambia Democratic Congress Party. Well, I mean, tonight we'll be looking at legislation, representation, and of course looking at the oversight functions of the National Assembly. But before then, I will start with Honorable Alaji S. Dabo. Let's now look at the issues in Kamba North constituency. Like I said, I mean, you are the sitting National Assembly member. You have been there representing your people in Parliament for the past 5 years. I mean, what will you look back as the pressing issues in Kamba North constituency at the moment that makes you think, you should be given a second mandate?
This precisely Brikama North, not actually Brikama
North, yeah, Brikama North, yeah, you're right, Brikama North.
Yeah, for Brikama North, when I was elected as the National Assembly member for Brikama North, I had an engagement with the community of Brikama, in general called the Bulunda, and then the various Kabilo heads, and in the Kabilo VDCs. There we discussed pertinent issues affecting the lives of the people of Brikama. Among these issues that are key one surrounding the Brikama Jamisa firing range. That is a burning issue, that the range is at a place that is detriment to the lives of the people, to say specifically that it is threatening to the life, because then the firing range was not located within the township but outside the township. Now that Brikama is growing, the firing range is almost in the community center. So the community of Brikama requested for relocation of the firing range. That was an issue. I was called by the community to engage with the authorities and raise the concern in the National Assembly. Then the other issue is the road network. We have key roads in Brikama that the concerned communities expressed that those roads should be constructed. That is the Brikama Kabafita, Bafuloto to Kubune up to Mandinarin, Brikama Kasakunda up to Nyomfele, then up to Gunjur. Then within Brikama itself, concerns have been raised about the drainage system. Flood is always a problem during the rainy season, especially along the road leading to Jarasoma. I could be recalled anytime when there is rain, the communities around that road always suffer from the flood. And then this concern has been expressed to me and my colleague, the other member of the other member of Parliament for Brikama South, the other side of Brikama. And this concern was taken up with the relevant authorities. Within Brikama, the market center is also a problem, especially the fish market. And when disaster happened, that is the fire outbreak, the condition of the market was also put to me by the concerned authorities or the market vendors, and these were the burning issues. The condition of the health center was also an issue raised. These issues were part of my supplementary questions, and during my adjournment debate, I always take upon the authorities on these issues. Some of them.
Yes, Honorable, your 2 minutes is up. I will now bring in Lamin KB Bojang here of GDC. What are the issues in your constituency?
A lot of issues. A lot of them that if you look at the condition of the living condition of people in Brikama, is definitely so disheartening. Now, we have very, very poor road network. Our hospital has the reputation of being the worst healthcare giver in the entire sub-region. Our market is like a death trap for the market vendors. We have a lot of reserve lands that were given by the elders of Brikama, but they are lying down there futile, and nothing is being done about them. You know, and we have the gravel mining quarries in Brikama North, like the Bafuloto, and these are income generating avenues, but the communities doesn't benefit anything from them. You know, we have poor road networks, most especially from Fara to Bojankunda to Bafuloto, Brikama, right down to Makumbaya, Kubune. You know, if you are talking about places like Taibatu, it's so disheartening that people living in the heart of Kombo are having such poor infrastructures. You know, it's so disheartening that I want to throw in my heart into the race and try to salvage my people from these sufferings.
Yes, let me now come back to you, Honorable. You've raised quite a lot of issues. You talk about the firing range in Brikama Jamisa. You talk about the issue of the road networks, but particularly from Brikama going to Buffalo to Kubune. You talked about the poor state of the market and health center. Let's now look at how do you think you can address these issues?
Yeah, we have addressed. I said, when I was elected newly, I did what I call consultative meeting with the community, and those were the things that they put to me. Now, those issues were already put before the National Assembly. That for the case of the firing range, I took the issue with the then Vice President. It was part of my adjournment debate that the firing range is a concern to the community of Brikama, and I call on the authority to locate the firing range, before it could result to the loss of lives in the area, because anytime there is shooting there, the people around there, they are always, this firing is always a threat to the community around the area. Then when I raised the issue of first in the National Assembly, the then Vice President called me that I should invite the community of Brikama so that we can have that discussion to see what approach to be taken to make sure the issue can be addressed. I'm happy to announce that I was accompanied by the community of Brikama together with my brother Lamin J. Sane, and we engaged the Vice President, the Defense Minister, CDS, and then the Fiscal Planning Directorate were also part of it. During the discussion, we agreed that we should look into the matter, and then they will give us their feedback. When necessary, they will see whether this thing can be relocated or not. Unfortunately, an incident happened. A life was lost. I went back to the Parliament. I put to them that this was my concern. In fact, it's resulted to a loss of life. What can we do now? Something has
call on every native of Brikama and every resident of Brikama for us to raise some funds.
You said the government is unreliable. What do you mean by the government is unreliable?
Yeah, because actually they are not definitely coming to our aid. The condition of our hospital is super poor. But what is the government doing about it? We're losing our women who are in the theater, who goes into the theater for operation. We lost them because in the middle of operation, electricity goes off. You know, that is quite disheartening for a community like Brikama, as big as Brikama. We have a hospital where ladies would die in the theater during operation because of simple thing like electricity.
Simple thing like electricity, but what can you do to fix this?
I will raise funds with the natives of Brikama, both here and in the diaspora, and we will get a proper standby generator for the hospital. Build a room, generator room, and place the generator there. Then I will call on every native of Brikama to donate some amount of money, where periodically we will be buying medicine, you know, more, preferably those in the diaspora. We will be giving them the money to buy medicines for us to equip our hospital with. Allow me to
come in here. I have to come in here because if you have to respect the time. From what I've heard from you, you're talking about raising funds, you know, relying on people in the diaspora. How much do you think you can raise?
I can raise a hell lot of money. Hell lot of money. Because this is not the first time that we are doing it. We have started in Brikama Misera when we tried to construct our route. I have seen how much money we have raised from the boys in the diaspora who helped us to to make those streets motorable during rainy season.
But one might ask, how sustainable is this? I mean, this is not a plan. This will be out of people's generosity.
Yeah, community-driven development projects are more sustainable than the government projects.
How?
That's what I believe in.
How?
Go to Gunjur, you would see street lights. The electricity that I benefit, that I'm enjoying to this minute, is a community project. The electricity, the water that we are benefiting from right now is a community-driven development project brought in by one Alhaji Ba Musa Jaune, assisted by our brothers Pa Sonko, Lamin Kasusane, my brother Bujaju, Aliu Sow, Lamin Kani, you know, one of their campaign team members, Jim Danjo, and all other residents of the area brought in the electricity, and we had street lights, functional street lights. But because of the lackadaisical nature of people in authority like the Brikama Area Council, we lost all our street lights. So we will try to inject life into that and bring in community-driven development project to make sure we move our constituency forward. And again, we have the quarries, as I told you.
Yes, let me just come in here. I just want to engage you. You have heard from the incumbent, that's the sitting National Assembly member, talking about his interventions. What's your take on that?
I wouldn't agree with him that he has taken those steps when he knows there is an institution where he can go to for redress. If you follow somebody on something genuine and the person is turning you down, as a National Assembly member, you can take another step that is legal action to address the situation.
All right, thank you. Let me bring in Honorable here. Honorable, you've equally heard from Bojang. I mean, he talks about raising funds using people of Brikama North who are in the diaspora. How do you respond to that? Do you think that's sustainable?
Brikama is already an organized community. I think there is an association in diaspora, the Brikama diaspora community, that is contributing funds towards the welfare of the Brikama Health Center. Already that is there. Well, the community has a room to come in, but where the government should come, that is what the government should do. And what the community can do, the community can come in for that. I will not say that the government should not come in, or the community should not come in to do what they're supposed to be doing. Or one should not try to be lobbying fund or support from the community to come into the aid of the Brikama Health Center or the district hospital. What I'm trying to say is that it is the major concern or development issues surrounding the health center or the district hospital should be the responsibility of the central government. And there, as National Assembly member, you should put that concern to the authorities so that they can intervene where the need arises.
So what has been the effect of your intervention as far as the issue of the health facility is concerned? You said you have raised this issue in Parliament and engaged the relevant authorities.
At one point, the President did inform the community of Brikama that the Brikama District Hospital is now going to be transformed into what they call a referral hospital. That is in the pipeline. The state of Brikama Hospital is always my concern, and I have been expressing it. And I put them to corner until they consider the need to transform into a referral hospital.
I mean, okay, now let's now look at what have been your achievement, your accomplishment, because it seems these issues are still pending. Even though you have attempted in Parliament to put these concerns to the relevant authorities. What will you point to as your achievements, accomplishment?
On what side?
Because it seems the firing range is still there, even though you have been,
it has been on the side of the firing range,
yes,
the achievement is that the ministry have reliably informed us that the firing range has now been relocated from Brikama, Jamisa to what they call Tinteba. And now that is an achievement.
So it is no longer there?
No longer a firing range.
And you can confirm it as
the
this.
minister did put to us at the National Assembly that it has now been transferred, relocated from Brikama Jamisa to Tintiba.
Okay.
In addition, if went further to add that it is now going to be transformed into what they call a military hospital.
Bojang?
The honorable member is just trying to be on the defensive side, but actually there is nothing that has been done about that firing range. It's still there, and tomorrow morning, if the military have training, they will go there to train shooting. Tomorrow morning, I am telling you.
Yeah, I can put to you, the minister, this question was put to the minister, and the latter is just recently, our last adjournment debate, and I put to the minister, you've been giving me words that this thing is going to be relocated. Can you vividly confirm whether that has happened or not? From the mouth of the honorable minister, he said for now there is no firing taking place at Brikama Jamisa. No firing. That's the words of the minister. And as far as I am concerned, I've not seen any firing. And if there is firing, I will hold the minister responsible for that.
Yes, and you talked about the issue of the road network. You said from Brikama, Baflo to Kubune. What have you done as far as that issue is concerned?
Yeah, that issue, that's the road network from Brikama, Kabafira to Bafuloto, then Makumbaya, then up to Mandinarin. I've been always expressing that or raising the concern in the National Assembly. At one point, it is with the National Assembly member, through my influence, that we succeeded in putting it in the supplementary appropriation bill. That is that road together with the Kasakunda, Brikama Kasakunda, Nyomfele, Gunju road. It is now, it has been in the supplementary appropriation bill and before the Gambia Road Authority for construction.
All right, I'll come back to you, Honorable. Let me now go to Bojang. I mean, let's now look at the issue of legislation, representation, and oversight. I mean, you are aspiring to represent the people of your constituency in Parliament. What can you change as far as these three key issues are concerned? Legislation, representation, and oversight.
Yes. Legislation, I will make sure that there are good laws in the country. If I were in the parliament for the past 5 years, the anti-corruption bill would have been passed. I will insist that we pass it with adjustments and all those things, because I have seen that corruption has brought this country down on its knees.
Yes, I mean, you talk about good laws, I mean, such as what? And you talk about the anti-corruption. You say if you were there, it would have been passed. How do you know?
I would.
You are just 1 out of 58 national
I wouldn't stop. It wouldn't stop at my decision. I would talk to other National Assembly members, convince them, and let them see the importance of this thing, so that the anti-corruption bill, so they join me in the crusade to vote it in.
But that will also depend on whether your colleagues, I mean, the other 57 National Assembly members agree with you or not. I
will take it upon myself. If I can convince my electorates to vote for me, I can convince my colleagues, National Assembly members, to vote.
I think, Mr. Bojang, that's an assumption, not a fact.
It is not an assumption. I have participated in campaigns where we have succeeded in whatever we intend to do. So I will start the same thing, and I know I will have support from genuine National Assembly members who want to see this country free from corruption.
That's an assumption, because you've never been in parliament.
It is not an assumption. It is not an assumption. It has been tried and tested somewhere, and it worked. So it can work here too.
No, but the thing is that this is a fact. You've never been in parliament. It's just an assumption.
No.
That you think if you get into the parliament, you can influence or you can convince your colleagues.
It is definitely not an assumption. I know I can do it. I know I can convince them.
But
I know we can work together. We can work together in the interest of the nation, Mr. Sisi.
It doesn't happen.
No.
It's not a fact.
Yeah, it has never happened, but it will happen once I get there. It will, because I know I will be able to convince them. I participated in campaigns, and we got to the desired destination. So we can, anti-corruption is everybody's wish in this country. Every patriotic Gambian want to see that bill passed.
Okay, now let's move on. Let's now look at representation. What can you change?
Representation, I will go down to my people, I will meet them, and I will represent them adequately, because I will represent their ideologies, their ideas, their way of thinking. What is affecting them is what I will take to the National Assembly and voice it out. I will represent them as my people. I will not abandon them. I will not stay away from them.
What mechanism will you put in place to ensure that your constituents have access to you?
I will open a Brikama Note office, not in my compound. We have a lot of reserve land. We will open an office that will be apolitical. It would have nothing to do with politics. We will open this office, and we will try and employ at least 2 people, equip the office. Whoever wants to get whatever information, we have a lot of reserve lands in Brikama that are lying down idle. So we will open a Brikama Note office where every information, whoever want to get access to any information pertaining to Brikama Note, can just walk into that office and get it and move on.
What other constituency services will be available aside from establishing an office where your people can access you?
Yeah, we will try to get, we will work with the Brikama Area Council. We will work with other institutions that are in Brikama to make sure we enhance a better living for the people of Brikama, and their welfare will be our priority.
No, here we're talking about the ordinary people.
Yeah, the ordinary people, yes. We will enhance a better living, and their welfare will be our concern.
Now, let me now look at Honorable. I mean, you've been in Parliament, I mean, for the past 5 years. I mean, in terms of legislation, I mean, what have you been doing as far as, enacting laws that serve the interests of your constituency?
You see, I think it is important one try to know what are the roles of the National Assembly member. Of course, issues surrounding the bill, you should be aware with what we call the standing orders of the National Assembly.
By the way, the revised standing orders.
Yeah, the standing order is the guiding principles of the National Assembly that guides you according to how the proceedings of the National Assembly, how they should be run. Now, if you follow that, then that will be guiding you if it has to do with the bills, how you're supposed to deal with that particular bill. Now, for bills, there are 3 stages for the standing orders of the National Assembly. The bill is first laid what we call the first reading, then the second reading, the merits are debated, and then after that, it is handed over to the relevant committee, where the committee will scrutinize the bill and then will engage the various stakeholders. Maybe we, the parliamentarians, may not be, au fait with certain areas pertaining to the bill, but you can invite experts of that various areas. Then they will give you their inside thought concerning that particular law or the bill. Then the committee will report back to the plenary. And then the report of the committee will be adopted by the plenary. During the third reading, the report of the committee that has been adopted will be guiding the committee to do the necessary arrangement as suggested by the committee. So those are the stages that usually take place by the National Assembly members when we are dealing with the bill. We don't just jump. We don't just jump and then act on the bill. It has to go through these various stages. My landlord friend did put that if he was in Parliament, he would have seen the anti-corruption bill passed. I want to inform him that it has already been passed. It has already been passed. It went this...
When was it passed?
This last sitting. This last sitting. It went through these various stages. At that committee level, the committee had to invite various stakeholders who are connected to the bill, and their report was brought back to the plenary. The plenary debated on the report and then adopted the report. During the third reading, it was that report that guided us to do the necessary, thorough amendments in the anti-corruption bill.
But if you go back to records, you will realize that the anti-corruption bill was one of the agenda in that session where the minister didn't turn up. The Attorney General and Minister of Justice.
Attorney General and Minister of Justice. Yes, Attorney General.
He didn't turn up when you were to deal with that anti-corruption bill.
Yes,
so,
exactly, yes.
So you didn't have time to vote on it?
Yeah, no. What happened, it was debated. It was the report that was approved, adopted. And then finally the third reading. Yes, that was the
not the bill itself?
Not the bill itself. It was the third reading where the report supposed to be guiding us, where the minister failed to turn up. Yes.
But as we speak, we can see the bill is not yet enacted.
Our side, we are done with our work. All what's supposed to be done is to do the necessary amendment that we are reflective in the report. And whenever the minister appeared, that will be done. So what the National Assembly members we are supposed to do, they actually did that.
But as we speak, it is not an act.
Yeah, it is not an act. It is at that stage of a bill.
Okay, now let's move to representation. You have heard from Bojan talking about creating an office and all that. What have you done as far as
National Assembly members for this particular fifth legislature? I want to put to him that we did what is called trying to make the National Assembly to have that autonomy. And in doing so, we passed what is called the National Assembly Service Act. So this National Assembly Service is guiding the National Assembly so that the parliamentarian can act just like what elsewhere the other parliamentarians are acting. What he's suggesting, exactly this what the parliamentarians will be having. Each National Assembly member should be having an office, and the office should be well equipped. You should have your staff. When a parliamentarian is supposed to do the work, not everything is supposed to be done by the parliamentarian. You should even have researchers. Now, when those things are not in place, it is always going to make your work very difficult. We have that plan, we had that already laid that plan. The National Assembly Service should make sure parliamentarians are equipped. We have an office whereby the parliamentarian will do their work, and we can have our staff to enable us to do the work.
As we speak, do you have an office?
For me,
yes.
The office of the National Assembly member.
Yeah. Constituency office.
I have my own office where I do my work. But what I'm trying to say, to make it equipped, just to look like the standard National Assembly member office, this is what is lacking.
I mean, let's now look at the issue of, I mean, I know during the program, you know, we will open the lines. Let's now look at the issue of, you know, the past legislature. I mean, you will be remembered for rejecting the draft constitution, which over 100 million of taxpayers' money dollars was spent on that particular exercise. How did you vote? In person, how did you vote in that particular session on that draft constitution?
Of course, I voted for the draft constitution to pass the second reading.
And are you in any way disappointed that you didn't achieve what you wanted?
Obviously, since we did not meet the requirement according to the standing orders of the Constitution, and then we expected it to pass from the second reading to come to stage and then the third reading. That did not happen. As a genuine Gambian, I was disappointed.
Thank you very much, Honorable Alaji S. Dabo Brikama. Well, viewers, you remember that you are still watching QTV and we are broadcasting live from our studios here on Kairaba Avenue. It is your daily live debate which we bring between candidates who are aspiring, who are contesting for the upcoming parliamentary election. And like I said earlier on, we are now joined in the studio by Samsidine Baji, an independent candidate. Samsidine, welcome to the program. We'll just give you 2 minutes just for you to make an introduction of yourself.
Once more, thank you so much. And thank you for having us here. Rabbi Srah li Sadri wa Yasir li Amri wa Hlul Uqdatan min Lisanihi yafqahu qawli. Just as said, my name is Samsidine Baji, and I am the independent candidate for Brikama North constituency. I am born in Brikama and brought up in Kembuje, Medina, and also I am a graduate and I acquired many certificates in various organizations and institutions. I'm currently the president of Dynamo Association.
Thank you very much, Mr. Baji, for joining us on the program. I mean, you're just coming. I'll just try to put a few questions to you. I mean, you are contesting as an independent candidate despite having several political parties in this country. We just want you to share with us what you see as the present issues in your constituency that has warranted you to come out and express interest to represent your people in Parliament.
Thank you so very much. It's a very important question indeed. And the answer that I have for that question is my people are not being properly represented, and also their voices are not being heard or recommended in the National Assembly, and also we lack of drainage system in Brikama North constituency. So these are some of the reasons. I
mean, you talked about lack of proper representation and about a drainage system. I mean, what do you mean by that? Lack of, especially when you say lack of proper representation. Proper
representation here simply means that we voted in 2017. We did an election, and then it was successful. The incumbent, who is my mentor, Alaji S. Dabo, or Honorable Alaji S. Dabo, and then we sent him to the National Assembly for him to represent us. But we feel like, as a constituency, we feel like our voices were not explained in the National Assembly.
I mean, you said you voted. Did you vote for Honorable Alaji S. Dabo in the last election?
I voted for Honorable Alaji S. Dabo.
So what were you expecting him to achieve?
Because I was expecting him
within the first 5 years.
Exactly. For the first 5 years, when he came to my Kabilo, in our constituency, he said that he will, anyway, he promised a lot. That road construction, and also constructing boreholes, and then putting street lights. But so very unfortunate, we didn't see anything.
Nothing?
Nothing, absolutely.
But I mean, in your understanding, do you think some of these development projects are the work of a National Assembly member?
Yes, they are not the work of a National Assembly member. But he can lobby for them because he is in that position, of course.
No, but in terms of lobbying, it's not something that you are assault. You can succeed, you can fail.
Okay, but he has the right, and also he's given the opportunity to look for connections and fulfill his promises. These are not my promise or our promise, but these are his promises that he made.
So in your opinion, are you saying that, I mean, Honorable has not been lobbying, like you put it?
Probably, but I've not seen it. I've not seen anything here.
So now, I mean, you are, like I said, you are contesting. What are you going to do to address the issues you have raised here?
It is indeed a very important question. And I will influence the development of my people by raising their issues in the National Assembly. And also, I will represent my people and I will raise their voice in the National Assembly. Also by lobbying from institutions and organizations. And also when I am elected, I will have these opportunities, not one or two. This could be many opportunities in order to do my best for my people or for my constituency, including the Gambia.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to be in parliament and raise the issues of your people, but it is another thing to really have these projects that you are talking about to bring about the change you are anticipating.
That is a very important question, but I will want to acknowledge that if you are in this position, you are giving so many responsibilities, and also you are giving so many opportunities as far as responsibilities are concerned. So this, I feel like, is a position whereby an individual can fully stand for his people, with or without an individual's assist.
How?
By sending connections that you have. You cannot tell me a member in the National Assembly does not have any connection.
As we speak, what connections do you have?
Right now, I am a youth I am let's say I'm 100% on the 80% on the youth sector. So I created a football academy whereby I am serving the youth of my people or the youth of my constituency. So that alone, I have a big connection from Belgium. I hope they are also watching because I invited them to watch the program. And within that, almost I have succeeded in taking 5 of my players from my academy to Belgium.
I want to put you on the spot here. You have these connections. You built an academy, and here you're talking about what you said, poor roads in your constituency. Why haven't you used that connection as we speak to bring these projects to the people, rather than waiting until when you get to the parliament? What's the difference?
This is a very clear question, and I definitely love the question. Okay, because the connection is purposely for football, not for these other constructions or for building or anything, because there is somebody who's supposed to be doing that, and that person already promised to do that. So if he fails to do that, it is not of my own cake, indeed.
Honorable, you've heard from Baji, talks about what he said, poor representation. How do you react to that?
Well, if actually what he understands what representation is all about, representation, you happen to be the mouthpiece of the people. If he has been following the National Assembly proceeding, he would not have judged that Alhaji SW is a misrepresentation. I would say in the National Assembly, people have regarded me as the Julius Malema of the Gambia. I am coming. He said I am his mentor. I think he still should learn from me that I am his mentor. No Gambian will say Alhaji SW is a misrepresentation if he is honest to himself. He is a latecomer. I said when I came in, I had a consultative meeting with my constituent, and the concerns that they raised, they are not things that came from me, but from my community. And all these issues that he is talking about were the issues that were raised by the community. And these are the issues that I have been expressing in the National Assembly. That is why anytime when I stand up to address, there were some ministers who will say, the Brikama man has started again.
Thank you. Let me now bring in Lamin Bojang here, GDC, Lamin Kebe Bojang. What have you achieved? What have you achieved in the past, as far as Brikama North is concerned?
First of all, I want to state here that I want to take you back to the anti-corruption bill.
Answer the question first, then you go back to the anti-corruption bill.
Okay.
What have you achieved?
A lot.
Such as?
I am a youth leader. I was the Auditor General to the Misera VDC, and I was part of the people that brought in that electricity that I am talking about, because I was one of the small boys who will be going to collect $10 from the compounds. So I actually participated. I served my Kabilo both as a footballer and as a head coach, and I am a youth activist as we speak. I sit down as the vice chairman of the fight against cyberbullying in this country. We had at some time, some 2 years ago, we had some kind of pothole feelings with gravel in my community, and I was at the forefront of that particular activity. And a lot of the people within my community trusted me to an extent that they make me the leader of the technical committee that was actually responsible of filling in those potholes. I have made some significant achievements as far as Brikama Missirah is concerned.
But we understand that. But do you think that is enough?
Yeah, those are the steps.
To become a National Assembly member?
Yes, I told you earlier on that I am going to use those kind of things as a springboard because I believe in community-driven development projects. And I know communities like Bafuloto should have access to the royalties that is paid by licensing holders that mine gravel within their communities. I will make sure I pursue that to make sure they get those royalties and the rehabilitation. Yeah, there are institutions. There are institutions in this country that are responsible of addressing issues of contempt between two entities. If I pursue the geology department or the ministry responsible of mining, and I could not get those royalties paid to the VDC of Bafuloto, I would take legal actions as a National Assembly member. After creating the office, I would take legal actions for those monies to be remitted back to the people that owns it. That is the community of Bafuloto, Kubune, Galoya. They own that money. To this minute that we are talking, there is no running water in Busurande. Serakundanding people do not have electricity. I will be knocking on each and every door to make sure those communities also have running water and electricity. And the road network to Taibatu from Jambanjeli, to Taibatu from Bonsai and or from Busuranding is disheartening.
But Mr. Bojang, I mean, like you said earlier on, the role of a National Assembly member is to make laws and represent the people. You're talking about roads here. I mean, where will you get the funds from?
This is like an imam. All this in that instance, it's like an imam telling me my role starts and stops in the mosque. As a leader, you should have means of getting support to help your people. We have so many philanthropist organizations around the globe, so many international organizations that are willing to help the poor and needy. So many Gambians, in fact, Gambia here, if you tell them about the situation in Busuranding, you get a borehole for them tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, you will get a borehole for them because their situation is so disheartening. It's so worse that they had to buy 20-liter gallon. When I went there during this campaign, they told me they buy 20-liter gallon of water, $10.
All right, I'll bring the Honorable. Honorable, are you aware of this water situation in the communities he's talking about?
The water situation of Busuranding was brought to my attention. And indeed, I raised that issue in the National Assembly. I could not get support from the ministry regarding Busuranding, but through philanthropies, I was able to provide borehole for them. Providing the borehole is one thing, and to maintain is another. I think the maintenance is the responsibility of the community. Unfortunately, the borehole has a breakdown as I'm speaking, and I'm also approached on that. As I'm speaking, we are working on that. The technical team of the Brikama Area Council visited the place to study and do the necessary support that they're supposed to do. It was me who provided the borehole. When it's out of service, that was brought to my attention, and then through my councillor, we are making effort to make sure it is put in place. Like Bonsa, a nearby community in that particular area, was also affected. One day I visited the community, they told me all their wells are dry because of the boreholes of Nawik around that area. I raised that issue in the National Assembly. The minister told me to see him at his office, which I did. We discussed the matter, and he said he is going to lobby borehole for them. When that was available, he told me to name two places in my constituency that should be provided with borehole. I named Chambuje, and of course, this particular Bonsa Emanjako community. He said he's going to send technical team to survey, and they did. The report of the technical team revealed that Chambuje is not qualified because it's under NAWEC system. They cannot get a borehole. They should be connected to NAWEC. What Bonsa was lucky to have it. Bonsa now has got the borehole, and the water supply is going on. Taibot also got. Unfortunately, it has a breakdown. But as I'm saying, effort has been making to make sure that it's put in place.
Yes, I will now go back to Badji. I mean, let's look at the issue of still representation. I mean, you've listed what you said are the issues in your constituency. But if you were to be voted in today, what will you identify as your priority areas?
Thank you so very much, and it's a very important question. Okay, I will, just as I said at the beginning, I will make sure that any word that I said, I will make sure the word stands. With the help of my people, the ones, or the elected members, and the ones that I will be working with in the National Assembly. Like, for example, when I said I will bring development X, Y, Z to a particular community or to my constituency, I will make sure that it is done.
You would make so?
I will make so, yes.
You sound so confident.
I sound so very confident.
There's no guarantee that you can get the required resources to implement these projects.
This is not 100% guaranteed. Yes, but I am so, because I know, like everything, that's a reason of saying anything. Okay?
What is the reason?
Okay, because I believe the ones there in the National Assembly, they will have this general understanding with us. One, we are all Gambians, and together we say. So I hope when we say we are to fight the same thing, maybe with that understanding, they will stand for me. And maybe they will also come to me with the same term. So I am so that when I said this, I will do my best for my people on a particular issue, I will make sure I have this connection together with my people, or the ones in the National Assembly.
Can you give us your priority areas?
Okay, that is the drainage system.
Where? At where?
At the Brikama market. Today I was there. I was interviewing some women, including those outside Brikama North constituency. Almost I have about 7 men whom I have interviewed, and alhamdulillah.
What have they been telling you?
They were telling me that for over 5 years, they were paying tax. Every day they are paying tax. But at the end of the day, there is no drainage system, and also their business is not going properly, because simply because they have some individuals or some individuals selling the same products that they are selling at that market, outside the market.
But it's a liberal market.
It's
what
a
can
liberal
you do
market.
about that?
They said, you asked me a question, and I'm trying to say exactly what they said. So when you have to ask me in regards to that, maybe I'll have to refer the same question to those people. And
no, but you are aspiring to represent them in Parliament, so you should be able to tell us this.
Of course, I should be able to tell you this. But just understand this. If you ask me something that I just asked some people.
Now, just respond to the question. We don't have time.
Okay. Come again.
You talk about, you said you interviewed people at the market. I'm like, you said, they said, some people are outside the market selling the same products that they're selling. I'm like, but this is a liberal market. What can you do about that?
Okay. One, maybe I can organize, let's say, an institution whereby we will have this general understanding together as a people and then solve the problem together. It will not even take much time. I'll try my best to see those individuals selling outside and then bring them together. We tackle the situation together as a people.
Okay, let me bring in Honorable here. Honorable, in your deliberation, you also mentioned the issue of the status of the Brikama market as we speak. Could you just share with us what you have been doing in your first term to address the issue in that market?
Yeah, the Brikama market, in particular what we call the fish market, is always an issue that I took with the ministry. In the National Assembly, I used to raise the issue as a concern. The Minister of Fisheries at one point put to me, Alaji, we've been talking about this Brikama fish market. I'm putting to you, come December, you'll see something done in the Brikama fish market. I think that was around 2020.
So something like what?
Something will be done in Brikama fish market.
Like what?
That's how he put it. My understanding is that the Brikama fish market drainage system will be properly done. Now the December ended, nothing happened.
So meaning the promise of
the promise was made, nothing happened. And I raised the same issue even this last sitting. I told the minister, You have been telling me that December, come December, something will be done at Birkama Fish Market. If you go to Birkama Fish Market, how filthy the condition is. You not even believe that people can go there and sit and sell things that can be consumed by the people. And I'm putting to you, if I am supposed to come back, whether it will be you, the minister, who will be coming back as the Minister of Fisheries, or who else, I want to see that Birkama Fish Market, something is done. That December you talk about, that December must come.
Yes, let me now go back to Bojang. I mean, if you were to introduce a private member bill in Parliament, what will it be and why?
If I am to introduce a private member bill, it would have to be something that would control Brikama Area Council.
Like how?
Brikama Area Council is left unchecked, let me put it that way. Because looking at the condition of the Brikama market, you cannot believe that there is a council that is responsible. And I understand, allow me, I understand government have centralized the tax collection, and they are giving them a subvention of, I think, $1 million every year.
But the Brikama Area Council, like any other council, is appearing before National Assembly members, a select committee.
Yes, I know they are appearing. They are appearing there, but maybe why are they letting them loose like that? So I believe our National Assembly members are not doing what they are supposed to do with regards to how Brikama Area Council operates.
How about you? If you were to introduce a private member bill, what will it be and why?
At first, I would like to support exactly what he said. Because today, when I interviewed these people in the fish market, their cry was really concerning. Okay? And I feel like the bill that I will create will have to do with the local government. That is the area council. Because somebody told me that every week, this is just a word of somebody. It's a word of an individual. It could be true or it could be fiction. But he said to me that every day, I told him, area council, every day, area council, they used to do what we call tegela. Means they gather money together, and then at the end of the day, money will be given to one particular person. And he even mentioned the number of token or the number of money given to that particular individual. He said every day is $10,000. And to me, to me, that is not fair. It's a word of an individual, I'm saying.
But we can't rely on that, on what somebody told you. You are not even sure whether it is true or not. Let me bring in Honorable here. Honorable, I mean, you have heard from Bojang talking about the councils not being checked. I mean, you are in Parliament. All these councils are reported to the Parliament every year to submit their funds. Do you think the councils are not checked? Because he said the parliamentarians are not doing
He related what he called the introduction of a private member bill. I don't think that is necessary. The purpose of bringing a private member bill for Brikama Area Council, already we have an established act. What should be guiding is how to implement to the bottom that particular act. And beside the act, as you rightly stated, we have what is called a committee responsible for local for the area councils. Yeah. And those are the committees that conduct what we call the oversight functions. So I don't think it is relevant to bring in a private member bill just for oversight on Brikama Area Council. As a sitting member there, you can raise issues pertaining to the administration of Brikama Area Council during your parliamentary deliberation. But to address issues within Brikama Area Council, I don't think a private member bill can be doing that. What he should be doing that to make sure Brikama Area Council is guided by the act that is governing the Brikama Area Council. And
maybe that act isn't sufficient enough to control Brikama Area Council. So you can put in...
You are not sure? You say maybe.
Yes, because how I see them operate is like there is no act at all.
Are you familiar with the act?
Yes, of course.
What can you tell us about the act?
So many things. Markets are under the control of area council. Those are some of the elementary things that you see in the act, that markets should be handed over to the council. Council should be in the custodian of markets and all those stuffs like. We haven't seen rigorous control measures that are put in place to make sure that anybody found wanting face the full force of the law. We haven't seen such rigorous things. It's like petty things here and there, and the fines, punishments here and there are.
Honorable, do you agree with him?
No, what I'm saying is that, you see, when you say market, it's not only Brikama that has a market. You cannot bring an act to be tailor-made for Brikama Area Council. I mean, it's not making any sense at all. I'm putting to him that there is an act. What may be lacking in the act is the implementation. Yes, as a sitting member, he can be part of it to make sure the act is properly implemented, whether he is in the committee or not. But you say that you're supposed to bring in a private member bill to address corrupt practices in Brikama Area Council. I think, I mean, an act cannot just be tailor-made like that.
Well, viewers, you remember that you're still watching QTV, and we are broadcasting live from our studios here on Kairaba Avenue. My name is Aliou Cissé, and today's debate, we're looking at the Brikama North constituency, and in the studio we have Samsudeen Badji, an independent candidate. We have Lamin KB Bojang of the JDC, and the sitting MP Alaji S. Dabo, who is seeking re-election. Mbadingol melbe QTV jube kan hani saying frente ka debate Natalie bidu melbe studio kono jawale mu Samsudeen Badji atebe lokan independent candidate Lamin KB Bojang JDC aning Alaji S. Dabo atebe lokan United Democratic Party. Saying bital local language le Honorable Bojang aning Badji. I will just start with Honorable, I mean, it is a Sayulo Tambita as National Assembly member for Brikama North constituency. It is Yamunaje ila constituency Yamericom Nyunko Yatnako, Itamericom, Monita Kakate Faye, Puriamur Parliament, Purikela Koleakolu addressed.
Ngamen fo comme angale konto ka bambandro walam ko bir mole katye fayni ni mol sitale me muyla sulolti kabonna sate alfalla na kabila tiola ye tandina manken dambala ko mirolti o sula ko bunna dandamol bol konole membe ko na rincholu na silolu na marse na drainage o be o kolu konole nin tara National Assembly kanyu sula ko lel dante andun kawlel denkil wate o wate dolbe je wol jarata bar jama be je iman jara ngamira ngatu damento abe kumayala len ngatu damento ngata nga complete ngaje ko na mo laftala nyamenna ya suro nyama ndele moti me ya kumas kafo ndele moti la hidodi menna ko anyanda kele nyene nyama oto ngamira be sonela telefona mbulu ngamurje ngai tandila ko ndanta damento laftala ngajele ko ngatenten ayke comme laftala nyamenna abe wol kono fana ngasilo men fana fo ngafo ko ngasila kuma fola foje o sila kuma flolu afutala ko approved ngabula na supplementary budget kono and the ministry fana ya fol ko asilo nyanta dokula wolum ka Brikama kabafita weta bafuloto makumbaya weta fo mandinari de ninga borje silol mi nyanta link lo ma la kata kubude nyolto kungu jankira galo nyolia o silol be nyanta link lawtol nga fole fanan ko de ni silol nyim farambe dedala kabo bafuloto weta fo farato bojam kunda o link ro silol nyanta dedala kabo bafuloto weta fo bafuloto nemasu weta farato ka o link ro to nyanta dedala ni tara kasa kunda karola ni o silol nyim farambe dedala al link ro nyim men kabo kunku jan ketaya wita fo jambanjele wala ka tambi taybatula o ring roñi fa nyanta dedalal ni konye sul apurla ko nyanta dedalal o tabe kumayalal yinta murta ndinga bula ko nyin noma ngaje ko akoni yeke.
Okay, Bojang, mbadi ngete fana nati 2 minutes yo sore ista fo moli munem sula ko woti Brikama no fo wayatna inara pour kalo député
nga fole ko ku jamale atina mi atina lafta kana Brikama no because nga jele ko ntolu coming like mammo soto nya député bu ngoto ntanga je wala nyama because Brikama not la al halo be nyaming sila kumolu mun na problem molti na lopitano mu problem molti marseo mu problem molti hani funding ke la bala bo nyoto dollar ni ala Brikama note karadola ibata la ko bere singol ka kejele andu wo bere singol ko dol min ka soto wo bere sin dollar to abukana murum pour ka community na fa ne Brikama note jibe ibajala ko sila kuwe tolle batandi dollar beti bari berol min be ka silol dada abeka bo Brikama note le Brikama marse to ne musol tara siringe ibala fati se do ya nyaawnya ila ko be bala fala lafta pour ni mole carte fayne mbe Brikama marché mbe ñoy la because institutional be Brikama le min ya lon ko banks ñol bi jele insurance company ñol bi jele travel transport companies ñol bi jele ni be ila alpha ñi institutional be ni be la alpha be sila nga Brikama marché la ko kacha nga jube nse sokawe dinka ba nani sinno nyami waran woro sinno nyami Brikama marché kono nga kan concrete completely nga jibori silol dada ya na ye jiyo bo marché dawo da dungo sokawe dinkol kono nga fero ke nga sokawe sabara moto nyini nga londi nga office o yele Brikama notier nga mo fula waran sabanyon ta do ko la je nga computer ke je nga office o nyeng equipe nge sindije ye responsible wo na Brikama note assets nyo la samanyal Brikama loptano mbe fere follow min kala wolo mbe standby generator le nyini la nga londije because nga jele ko musol katara operation rimo kono le pour ka operate din dingo soto kurango ita operation o tema doron kurango ita tak wo mari fure maka fintina wo bun kono wo ni ku ya warata mfe bake wala tina mansino ko fon saje nga wuli nga katoke pour mbe Brikama bondila no Brikama note bondila no dingo kono nyami
ye fen jamale fo bari yaro nyimbe ko dole ka tamande ibo ko bondila mi dore pour kaji
nga fo le computer institutional tole we have most of the big banks nying bank wana mambal min bebe Gambia jangi be branch so to Brikama le ibe la deposit ika musol min ka kodo samba ka deposit la banks nyolto ika soto Marcel to so wo banks nyolo ni wala authority be silale ibe la managing director ni be silale nga jube be nyim Brikama musolu bondila no nyaming sako microfinance company min be ko Supersonics and Reliance bari wala balu bebe wo musol le bala o banks nyol la balu bebe wo musol le bala mbajela ko musolu fana ye wafiro keno Marcel economy along ko the condition is la condition is healthy because ni dunta Brikama marché kono ni me keku ni singo takite sinku mango sun kala fela bala
be yin temento ite alon ko sulta jella la kodo pour ka nyin do ko beke
benala together because ngajele community lié fansu marché lole ta to the villages iba takla villageal ka ila own community market law imansu la government la fenna ni tata community dol to commune Gunjur iba ta street light will be dula be to man sakunda la fentije Masakunda la talati community project or long community la start community la yake Brikama as a community can do it because nga mo min soto min be sabatin Brikama sansan kono damma asiata mo wili kemeti
okay memurle kan badu ngana Samsudeen Bajia Samsudeen ide fana question killing olem nyini kala killing olem ko ile peka loka ka Brikama not represent as an independent candidate monatna i wulta pour ka député asira ngonyine
abaraka bake Mr Cissé ma fala nyini karo nyin kumayata bakele Brikama nkolu Brikama notun kolu tolle nga kalam dañu fe mbebe men kono anu hani ma fo ñoy membe kering bawo sanji lulu timmatale bari janni sanji lulu ñimbe sila kuma ka ngol milen fota ñe ngajale wol kono hani kilim manke hani haji kilim man jarano wol kono bon latale ko ni nga falindiro ke aliyende sindije to modo mbe kato kelale bake nyaw nyarandi nyama pour memmu nyantoti alla nyanto mi mintingo di alla anu fana fula nyaw ni na ministre na Brikama pako jibe na ministeri mo mimbe Brikama kastul nyaadul waje a metale zavale sanyu flag sa abina wasila amang dalano to nya sa foko amanke député la dokote but ndebe kala moti mi yalon ko bawo football la karola manke mo nukundindi je mbe kato kala bake mafo comme man sakunda pour ñi ñaatilindi la bay force bare mbe fero kelal kam man sakunda ñaatilindi ñim pakolu la ando amanke Brikama damala pakoti even san na national stadium fo kato mbe amna mira dal fanati bake pour ñaadi la mu man sakunda ñaabitili na football la development wala ñamen ni sabanyango musolu melu katara nakoto abe diala ñe bake pour ya security soto bawo mamanyolu melu ka bo kembuje ikata ikata faro kono wari do sodota kewo do leke attaque je fondin kewolo ike attaque jele ike la fengol busi bulu anum fanan jama yalo nin ko keda molla mirol ka ke kilimote dol ko kodi ko leke bula walla bare dol ko hani ku dole min nin kodi ko man kilin the word is kuma kan woni man la fafala bare fenna mi yalon ko nyawnta bake anu ma amira fonnin ko mi yalon ko ala fonnin ka ya kamalta ibe o haji sifatili na kata o muske bal kam bari ngalo ko mem ko kolti wala mu ya kenyene kam ba pour ka muske balu la nafa fe ngolu te bulo kono jigida ko ni security soto at least wobe mako yala bakele anim fanang hana
maru ngana jang because just like ngam nyeni ka bajal be mur la honorable kang ye fen jama fo I mean ite fa yalno ko député doko wala pour ka luwal dada bari alka fen jamal fo yamal ko latta kake alla moliye iba keno la nyaadi le kadu nyimbe amangi comme ça diam question le ka ko dole ka sabu iba kila nyaadi le ya mo ilaki bojanko atebe bank solo use la do you have a different approach?
Yes, I have
a different approach. Isa keno pour ka
different approach.
What are they? Mune wote
lafta falo nyami wala mu tonya ba on tolle ben na bata kol kono anu fanan tolle ka kalamta nyofi modo buga kalamta fe woto nin ko be laari wo nyama ndol mo kilngol la nyata muruna na nyokan nga jibe mbe kol bulan la nyami pour nga ji ko ni problème wol ni solve nse daniro keno man sakunda wasa keno le député fanka daniro kel ando ala abala dogo fanan kono pour ka daniro ke so njikita ko a nyanda ka ke wol nyama daniro nyanda kelale amanke masakunda damati even institutional melni bank fango bankeling mo
ari yalo daniro e ka but you are not so very ibasalo ita sotala
of course but mol fana bijele mol yalan ko wol ka ko kele alakan e bugala fi fang yeto fang odo mol fana bijele andi sotala birka manot e mantara nukunding
okay mbar ngamuru honorable ye bojang moy ya baje moy e ko aka munta itol dal mote e national assembly representation o mantraje
of course
even mintole honorable
ngolo fo comme ngamen fo samsidi ning aya tara abe tilina faye ma fa kana palaso nyini palaso mobe talati par ko brikama not ma representation soto ngamira ni fo Gambia be mulbe be afolo ko ilo kuma man soto the National Assembly fay ka fonye ko the Julius Malema of the Gambia National Assembly mine wono ngamira representation nam mulla concern ka fo député bunto akanyi membe mini mana ñun mu kuuleti men yalon ko ndeka ñu lel denkil dipte boñin to ni ngata wo meta wasa ilafta place o ñin isa ñine no bayta falal ko representation ni am representation wala ka ke molul nengolti yake dalti yake nyalti andu wala kuti ngamen ke National Assembly ka birkama not ka a represent ko dola karola ndete birkama not nta taylala nka mineke community based approach nka wala encourage wala ngamme yitandi kabila wala sati o sati alla vidi silu nko vidi silu ñu ye reform ye restructure ye londi ye bambang anu ngaitandi ko pour vidi si wol ye keno njanta ajel ko vidi si falanka tam soto ni wo tam soto nota isaje fanan sila do ko nyin keno vidi si ye la project ol initiate it cannot rely only on the area council or the central government. Nila local community, ye project initiate. Area council ni assistant nyini bulu isa soro nole. Ba ni ko be area council le damba nyim batuna. Ay night la area da kabe development sambalna. Tumando to law tambe banera wote soro nola. Ba nila initiation nyi na ila project nyi. Area councils si na nole. The ni nata the National Assembly member finance na nola ka memfo komen ko ila lobby nyi. Ba ni obe kela ata kela ko itelbe kala focal passing inda abina tudi VDC la wala tinna mbe one association yin kola mbe one let me complete this birkama jamisa ye kafo nyin loni me yalon ko yurwa kafolam nko ko sign ning alla fita alletor nyin samana mfana ba sambala dinkralto ni de maro min sam atinante toyala ndeta nyila ndebe kala facilité tol
exactly e kala facilité bojang ani baji ngeje ibe ko jiya kan mun kata
niaje men ko ngun jiya kan akon de kam be dabal nga korsi ko maybe na diamo landi nyalamu anun di language kuma kan dabal wala mu mbe kuma kan wala fagang mi yalon ko amanke toñade bare ndela famille sen yandila ning atara toña sanji lulu be tambita
but is that what you mean dabal diamo ni
namira ka ne fode a fe ko atale o feta ka interpret
okay all right
niya moy
okay sai baji continue time
wonderful lafta jabi wala nyama so bare nte ataya fo nyami
ataya understand
exactly
but double da wala ka ko men mini e ka men mini
okay
niya mini dozi min ko photo nyawe come to the point isole va mini
okay all right baji
ni amoy mini amantili
no I'm understand just move on side
okay ni amoy mini wolon amantili
But just proceed. Just proceed.
Okay, fine. But already left that I understand. I'm just trying
I think Nkaelo ko mean come to the point.
Exactly. Honorable Afole.
Come to the point.
Okay.
Sign proceed.
Okay, but in the latter munna, ninga dara tonya, I am told represent the National Assembly. For Sanje Lulu, wo mume hani feng, maje, wara ka moy ka fogo alaji es da bonne ni kenyan. Ela teacher ne ni kenyan.
Musifa.
Asiara ay mon lahid munna mak.
Are light ni munna.
Street light on na josono do pa may wo fo world. Abodaje, excuse me. Abodaje mbadurong. Abodaje akabe na musol na muskebal na ko sansan. Wo fana ma sansan. Abodaje akabe na silo mbe ablay cham. Aning one brother ka fa kala. Ibrahima Kujabi. Wolle li wo silo nying mumbe facility fa banda.
Okay. So good. Hold it there. Let me bring Honorable. What's your response?
Yalla mbe wole tan ko. Ni be place o nyinna, yenta nyinna ni tilngolla. Ani sincerity.
So now you understand you.
Excuse me.
No.
Ani tilngol ni sincerity. National Assembly janinte be dunnaje. Ntemu sisin activist let. Ngalo ne minum National Assembly dokoti. National Assembly mimbate development ta sambanolna. Nte mafu mole ko mballa nyin silo bewla dedala. Silo munna concernity enyanta dedala. Anu nalenke dictate yin concern bewle resla in the National Assembly. Omani imply ko itele ko be silo nyin dedala.
Okay, good.
You understand?
Now let me bring in
Bojan. Ni nata another one. Okay. Ako vegetable garden. Ntara vegetable garden to nga jibe mula problem od amuna concern ko o vegetable garden musol nyanta sembentu yal kaje ko ila garden o nyingo e fence anin faran kolon fane deda anu brindara dipte bumro nga mixole agricultural expert ngi samo dinkra nyinto ila sauver nyinke kaje ko ngamel demande pour yaje ko woli yake.
All right, Bojan akamunta Bojan wants to come in.
Allow me to come.
Okay, Bojan.
Okay, ako diamo kono ko National Assembly member la do konteng pour ka development project ko nafe. Bare kumo to comment ay afoko ay boholo try no fire samanang busuranding kolye.
Ako a lobby le.
A lobby fire samanang no. So development project atebola no fangola jibo kono. Iba lobby la. Nka min foteng kombe development project ko na fena mba lobby la from people mbe mo le jibe la banta nga development project ko samana comme nga almamo la insit fenko example lo min samana ning almamo ko ko ntala do ko commencer ta jame ngoloto andu nga danta jame ngoloto salindiro da malo nale futu sito sota nyaabal bulu nale manyo bitol sota nyaabal bulu nale kulliol sota nyaabal bulu nale sango sota nyaabal bulu. It's just like that ni mu nyaton koti you touch a lot of different things ika fero le fayi I fero banta dawo da rete manke nyaton kati.
Well, Honorable,
let me correct this point.
Yes, Honorable, you can just put your point across and sign. We have reached a stage where we will allow you to ask each other question if there's any Honorable, but you can just raise your
the
point.
member je wala mo. Nko ntem brimbe dipte ya nyina ngalo minem National Assembly la do kote. Wala mko ndeta fula mole ko ntile ba la silo dedala. Nko mba itandile ko alla nyin silo nyanta dedala le. No wala itandi. Ni na bo holal fana. Almon bolo soda alnyenta bolo soda that doesn't mean ko itele ko e bo holo sambalna you can facilitate what doesn't mean ko nte ko ntele ba sambalna baje wala fo mbewol point ni mbewol correct.
Okay, sign we have reached now baji
seconds please 30 seconds, right?
Baji, now we have reached a point where you can ask each other questions.
See, just 30 seconds, please.
Now we have reached a point where you can ask a question, Baji. Okay. You can ask a question. If you have any question, you can ask.
Okay, intera question follow the kalaminti. Nga understand ko député la salary to fenko bijele constituency allowance. E kamindi la pour la tundo la kodo abela salary kono. Lafta kan na député ni nka ayentolta kenyadil.
Honorable, e ko constituency allowance o.
Ni ko allowance benga man sakunda do ko lon. Any area or any instrument or dawda various allowances nyo leka traje. Nina National Assembly allowance we coming for consequence allowance. Itale mu diptoti itale ke la moto bi zent. Ila molu nin sulol kane yale. Ibe dipti ala wato ite yalo nyawnya. Ala latil wotil mon leke la bunda konkon. Ini la problème le na. O problème nyanta adresse la nyaajile. Imam fendila nyanta kala ment. Andu nyanta hajul fanan tamandla ila banko nyinkang. Nyanta mini kala ila banko nyinkang. inyante la hajol min tamand la banko kan mola sulolu socially education anything niko allowance wol kanale pour wo sulolu ibe address la nyamena
jallam allowance jallam bojang ay satisfied
kadi mun na woni ninka
me ya nyinka ta nyinka
ani baraka di mun na wala nyinka nyinka
me ya nyinka ta fala
ala jabiro I think
no man satisfied.
okay
Man satisfied because
okay, now I want to know honorable nyin constituency allowance jallam
constituency allowance aka chip on increasing nal
but as we speak jallam
as we speak ngamira is about it was 40,000
so you are not sure because it have ngamira.
Yeah, because increment kerale recently.
But okay.
But before it was 15,000. I want to believe right now is around 40,000.
What about the Constituency Development Fund? If you understand, it's around 300,000. How true is that? The Constituency Development Fund.
Constituency Development Fund, New Korean National Assembly will initiate.
Jallam.
At the Pentale, the first one that was approved was 300,000.
300,000.
300,000. 2021 a starter. But unfortunately, Birin Kobi Fengo Yanyada was killer, but a mankeno. In 2021 I started, then 2022 lam anyanta continue.
Okay, so it MRC follow.
In 2022 nyanta receive la, that is Constituency Development Fund.
2021 Almata.
2021 Atata. Wala kata first one.
Alaya collect.
Nga collect.
It ya spend nyadi le.
Nteta nga spend nyami, that is the Constituency Development Fund. Biringal nata. Anin ko men bentan na banko ka wato wala mo biringo fonyo banyin keta. Atra nunga plan ko nyanta kemuje women na vegetable gardening pour ka fence birim fonyo ba nyin keta o fonyo ba e mo la dinkra jama lelu tinya o kata emergency issue ngana committee engage e ko nyew nyimu emergency yete ngamira nyanta wala address la janimita garden ko nyindo garden ta o sina the next one den tata monitoring na community jing kono kabiring serekundanding weta fo bonsa Taibaru, ntara mo tunda dula men yalon ko tinyaro nyin kera anyun tinyaro dikita men kan nga prioritize nsa for 37 household will benefit wala.
You talked about working with your committee. Lapta kalong ila nyin committee, how is the composition? Ikamu identify nyadele to be part of that committee.
Na councilor la vidi sila mo la selection nyin ka welelta, then they work with the people that I select to form that committee.
Bojang
But when you complete?
No, but yeah, we don't have much time.
Should I ask?
Yes.
Nanyi karo moment. But jani menyi karo kela. Ay kubakan dole fonu komando. Left time mudunda wakan demanding.
1 minute. 1 minute. Yes.
Nani ko 30 seconds.
Yes, please. 30 seconds.
Ako atema foko abe silol dalal. Foka pare. Akata ma foko abe boholol dalal. Abe boholol lola mole. Akata mo fo. Bari nteni ala tema. Billah wala atala afu. Amake ko me place ñu wara kudolem ñi maybe ni fama yal mba falam fama lam andu netti jalam
now ñi kara
we are here to say the truth.
Yeah, now ask your question.
Okay, the question is wati jumala abo bo holol dalal. That is the question. Wara bo holol lola wara silolu.
Ako yala nga ko tomiro awil ko konde kombe bo holol de dala. Kanale, that is your opinion.
Okay, now
opinion, that's what he said.
So I think
you have asked your question. Allow Honorable to come in now. Honorable, yes.
Coming for.
Jabiro Kesan.
Ako wali jimale mbe bo holol de dala. Ndema fa ko mbe bo holol de dala.
Wali jimale be lolo.
Excuse me.
No, Baji. Baji, please. Let's respect the rules. Allow Honorable to talk.
We have to accord yourself that respect.
Exactly, yes, Honorable.
You get it?
Yes.
We are entitled to your opinion. Bar ngai tandilo ko. As National Assembly me brimba nyin ngai tandiko mo la ñu sula kolu ñanta jaralal. Abol ko no silol, abol ko no jelo, abol ko no courant la. Nin kira diptoti mba mek sula Allah sila kolu ka fo dipte bungoto. Anu ni nara bo hola karola. I dinkral menu concern I affect bake baka ke wala nyama ngaite ko dilafula beje menan ko de benefit from that. Third one you look blood me ko iko wodula manke blood me ko nyanda bo holo sotla bari abi onda nawik la system ni kono so ni bo holo la ko ngo address danne.
Okay.
Two communities.
Thank you very much, Honorable. By allow me to come in now. Viewers, we reminded you watching QTV. Now the lines are open, especially for those living in Brikama North constituency. If you want to call, you can call and ask question to any of the candidates here. Mbadi ngol ñi tamito nga laynol yele moma yalan ko ilafta ko commandiro ke yela ñini karo ke ñul mo sabo milbe jang alla kanisol ke ñini ka alla ke ñini ka fingo fina sign line sol up until you are seeing the numbers on your screen, so moma ilafta ko commandiro ke no sign honorable ye ñini karo so il fa ka ñini ka men Bojang ni mbaji
hambe follow mbe honorable Nyininkala Menna wala mo sorry Mr. Bojang ko National Assembly ninga tenata aba mixola ko Bill Kendall ye soto so Bill Kendall Bill Kendall jimalete anu alafta abi wolbe soto no la nyaadile
okay nsa jabi no ko
isa jabi
kilimbe wol kono avec la minimum pay scale minimum salary because ngaje ko Gambia so jarol ka jomin soto nimmin ka wili nani soto mo koditi on nimmin ka dalasi wili lulu soto mo koditi on mbajala nga pay scale woni.
Well, I understand there's a caller on the line. Yeah, yes, you can
ma make sure nga minimum pay scale soto.
Okay, Bojang Haral, there's a caller. Hello, caller. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Yeah, I'm calling from Kembuje. My name is Abdullah Njai.
Okay.
I like SW Molin until I find Abdullah Njai. Bobby Mo.
Yeah. Can you just ask your question? What was here?
Mbala di SW Nyininkala. Ngama kafoko atema fo mole ko abanyin kelali. Par Kembuje da nata jana ntolla musolle samba bona na merol. Niaji be ni emi la kebe Brikama notla. Ni garden ba Kembuje lon garden ba. Over 500 ladies nika doko ke garden nota. E samba jele ke muru ligi ako ye karta nata winta de la garden no sansan. Par ngame la kabala abota wulu wala wolin bite ma.
Baraka Bake. Baraka Bake. Mr. Honorable yew moy la ako Kembuje ite fon tata ye laydo de ko ibela garden no dala.
Nko ngaitande ko ni be praso nyina ko molaw concern nyolu mba make sole ye address ila gadi no la concern kaje ko ka issue race in the National Assembly bring a race National Assembly nga Ministry of Agriculture ila estimoni nga wolel ta ni tata na Kembuje la gadi no nyindo ka itande ko gadi no nyina al halo be larin tentinne ikonyo ko mba study la nga jube ni ayatara a qualified anyanta do jora men sotla do ko men sotla mba mexala asoro bara manke Kembuje jambar Gambia bel ba nyim projet nyum kono anu limited fen ko nyinnam ni men qualified wala nyanta soro the end result ya itandi ko Kembuje man qualified ko fanande mam passé ninde fananga fansu kanal
okay now let me go back to Bojang ebe honorable nyini karo jabi kanu continue iko pay scale nyin
mba tara la minimum pay scale taraje anu mba jala fananko education sector scholarship ka di deserving students
for you ibukadi
deserving students.
How do you know? You don't work in the Ministry of Education.
No, I am a victim. Nta form victim let. Molka disable kataje ka doluje ya di wolle tata studies.
No, but Bojang alenga to nyafonye. The fact that you don't get it doesn't mean the Melia so wolfana ma disable.
No,
hold on.
I know the results.
There's another caller. Hello caller. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Maidure Yasin, may call Brika.
Okay, Yasin, mun nga la ci lu gaaw rek.
Lamin la bëgg laaj moom moo waxoon ne fii dafay defar yoon yi waaye dégguñ gisuñ dara moom ñi moo ko fi wax moo ñëw fii meeting ko fi wax ko fi.
mu ne dafa defar yoon waa jërëjëf Yasin yeewo moy la ako ite koy itaraje koy ibesiloñ de dala bari han say on fenje
ako muntu man itaraje ko besilo de dala
ila campagne wato
ntenga min foye wolem nte first class road sambano nan bari sama kono na silol de will be motorable motol be tala no e kanne e finti motol te drive volte batala jana ngaw fala senata andum be o kala e man carte fay ne folode bari mbe ka biro minto sama kono silo dol bije motol buke ma bari bi ning kola ni malong maybe one of these two are the wole fenke kan ansa fay ko ntola effort la atina motol ka dunno na ka bilo ko ne kata.
Okay, just back to the first question. Okay, Baji, it seems Baji was talking.
Comme lafta mi fola, wala mu muna la fakar na ke ba nyin ka muna na Kimbuje man qualified pour ye such facilities so da mul fanan jang because aka inquiry ke I understand ko Kimbuje man qualified so muna na ning atara is isule mi algo is from the government abodana man sakundala bulu ndeba jalal ko womon fair because Kimbuje man na katara Brikama North constituency
no I just asked your question whether it is fair or not just ask the question honorable Jabir
yes muna na Kimbuje is not equal
honorable maybe you can further clarify it because
ngamira nga isures janne
bohol la koli ngamra yo resnune why they say Kimbuje is on that now
exactly nkafo ngamira nga res janne before abina ko brintara ministry bonsala ji ko nyindo okay narafunye ko be boholol nyinna baninga asoro ite fana dula fula isa identifying be boholol sambala damindo o dula fulol wala kira bonsa ni Kimbuje nga wollel to dila barni to di ministry fana kela soviet team yin kijele ite la soviet nyinna then they report samba back to the ministry ye meyi solto meyi tandi wolamu ko Kimbuje be onda nawekle ni be onda nawek ministry of water resource la boholo ite wo sotonola remove village solu wala ka boholo nyin sotono nyin condition kannemu ama soto di o resta obo ministry talti water resources de ngay tandi
okay abaraka bake honorable we've run out of time. I mean we'll just give each of you 1 minute just to make a closing remark. I will start with you, Baji.
Can I be the last person?
Okay, honorable, 1 minute closing remark in any language you prefer. Why the people of your country so really vote for you?
Mbe tentula bake mbe jaila menkere moderator they can invite ngai tandi lako nde Alhaji Esdabon Telemo sitting member of the National Assembly of the Gambia mbe Brikama North represent Kang mbe second mandate mba sikane ka itandi ko député bungla do ko bika ban in fifth legislature Gambia be ay tandi lako anyon député bum man soto Gambia la tari ko nyin kono mol men ya kewoti ndefana be wo mollel kono ngam menu dati iman kumfa lefta ka wollelu tentendi nationally anina banko fanankan nga do ko menu dati je lefta wollelu ye tenten kaje ko na mulu lefta la nyamenna nga soto nyama abewol kono jata kende la karol abewol kono futa nyolo la karol abewol kono silo la karol abewol ko kurawni jiol la karol abewol ko agriculture la karola ni narna fay ring fanna karola wal fanna bunda lete men yalon ko nga konyum kumas ka afo dipte bumro la hidol dita la hidol men nyanta jela ko
thank you very much honorable Mr. Bojang
mbe kumandiro kala Brikama North mol bela pour ese carte finde because nga jele ko mimbe represent kan ala fenkol be mo ongoing process that ifentije min complete no hani sign ni carte finde mba jela ko ninga project ninga min noma mbe dandula kala mba complete la nole pour mimbe Brikama North ngolu na fala mbe bulala mansa kunna no mafanang pour yela obligational fulfill mini nyante ma Brikama tundo to yake bari woten stop la pour ngana ñinindirol ke mfangole at the community level pour nga project ko sammanang min falambe molu nafala mbe wo katakuwolu be kelale andum bajala ko nin tata député bungoto duwa kendo le pass andum min mun tolla tineti na nafa fengoti bimbe Brikama North commune na kuarelu yen nafa rincho nying ay rincho nying na kumo fale bare ngaje ko ntenga safe nung Facebook le juna ko rincho nying wo mun na major concern because ngaje keso ka musolu fale jele andum ba follow up la abe jari la nye pour ngata kitiola ningo authorities pour kaje ko wo rincho nying abota wo dolato le andum keno nying seyta Brikama kol mala minita
abaraka bake Mr. Bojang Baji.
Yes, once more mbafala dorong ntar detale wakamba mbe mo be hakadani la wala wayatina man kuma jama so don samin fo bari alhamdulillah nyina mu be woni kum fadulati lafta min fola na Brikama North molie wala mu ibeya understand ko ning atara diamo la diala mu wor nga diamo no demunum bebe mbulo ci kala nga wulli nga dinna ke bala memo honorable Alhaji Esdabo bari nyi ko mangi diamo noti anda mangi coming karangola levuloti nyin ko mu munti wala membe bala fa sot la liye atol Brikama North kolu anu ko fana mu munti wala me yalo ga bala nyanto kelela alla nyanto mu minti aya dialla me yalo ga hakilo bal mala hana be député bu ngoto me yalo ko fana be bala faali janning abe dunna député bu ngoto mbele fe la fanan al se katoke baki al kana patio jube bawo nale patio jube ala jele mumbi je patio le ya londi kabrim patio ya londi ya pareta wo kola ale mun soto anung la hidol membe fot hani killing amanke wati mba ko diam kan wati mba ko diam
thank you very much Baji, your time is up. Thank you very much Like the rules, I mean, you have to acknowledge each other with a handshake or elbow bump. Honorable Bojang and Baji, you can do that while I close the program. Well, viewers, with that, we bring an end to this live debate. Today, we were looking at Brikama North constituency, and in the studio, we had Honorable Alaji S. Dabo, the sitting MP of United Democratic Party. We have Lamin KB Bojang of JDC, and some